Welcome to the 100 Master Coaches series featuring master coaches from around the world. Let's journey together on this 100 Master Coaches series with your host, Coach Mel, MCC. Jackie Pan is a bilingual master executive coach and leadership consultant, with 14 years of experience working with enterprises and senior leaders. Before that, she was a senior commercial leader in global leading MNCs, as head of various marketing and sales functions. Jackie has ample first-hand commercial and leadership experience, giving her a competitive edge in business strategy, organizational effectiveness, and cross-cultural collaborations. Jackie also excels at inspiring and motivating leaders for next-level success. Now on to the show.
Hello, and welcome to the 100 Master Coaches show. This is Coach Mal, and today my special guest from Melbourne, Australia, actually, originally from Shanghai. Please welcome Jackie Pan. Welcome to the show, Jackie.
Thank you, Merle. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone in front of the screen.
It's a pleasure, seeing you again. I know I met you a couple of months ago. I remember we met in person. We had a, nice coffee time. So today the focus is on you. I would love to start by just asking, tell us a little bit about Jackie.
Yeah, I'm so grateful, Mel, to meet you in person and for your invitation, because this is a very special moment for me. This is the 20th year since I start to know coaching for the first time in my life. Yeah. So now I'm a master executive coach and a leadership mentor, especially focused on the tech sector, supporting these tech companies and leaders to move to the next level. I'm also a writer and a speaker. I really enjoy writing on my blog. My target for this year is to publish my first book. And I want to continue writing. Yeah, it's how I have the self-dialogue with myself. I also see myself as a leader and entrepreneur, because I believe you can't give someone else something you don't have. So when I'm really focusing on helping the leaders and entrepreneurs, I see myself how I can grow as a leader and as an entrepreneur as well. So this is, I think, the three big professional tasks for myself. But meanwhile, I'm also a mom, which is also a very major role for me. Have a 12-year-old boy. I learned so much from him and from his passion and his education as well. Yeah, and as you said, I think I've been always from this multicultural, complex background. I've been originally from Shanghai. I worked in Beijing and New York. Now I settled down with my work and family in Melbourne.
I'm just curious, what led you to come here to Australia after a wonderful stint, as you say, in China and as well as in the US?
Yeah, I think to the end of the day, it's a choice of a lifestyle at this life stage. Because I and my husband, we are looking at more balanced work and life, more flexibility. But meanwhile, the kid can enjoy more outdoors, pursuing more passions. And it's a multi-contextual. I think in Melbourne, it's very inclusive to all newcomers to that. So I think to them, it's a total package of the lifestyle. But when I stayed here over the 6 years, I think what benefit me the most as a coach is the tranquility and also the peace. Because there's a less population, there's really a lot of space and freedom for me to stay connected with myself, practicing mindfulness, being present, which today will turn into the customer value I can bring to my clients, especially a lot of clients, they are still in Asia, in a hustle and bustle lifestyle. I see it's still really the most benefit I can get from Melbourne City.
That's a beautiful, beautiful answer. I hear you. The balance that you're saying, and it's just bringing that bit to your coaching as well, as you were saying.
Yes.
Tell me the life before coaching.
Yeah, I was in general, it was a very busy and ambitious corporate life. So at that time, I was senior marketing director working in a FMCG company selling chocolate. I remember at that days, we ran like 300 days campaign of the year.
Okay.
And I'm also asked to be responsible for the market share for the final result. So we've been driven by a lot of the KPIs and data. But in the meantime, I'm always questioning myself about my personal impact on the business result. I can't find a strong linkage between my day-to-day work to the final result, because the final result will be largely shaped by the microenvironment, by the consumer behaviors, by the ups and downs in the economies, which, most of the factors is out of my control.
Yeah.
However, also at that time, I start to find my personal contribution on a single day. This is through the conversation with my team members when I'm leading the team to achieve the target. Conversations with my peers, colleagues, even my agency partners. I saw I really can make a positive difference and impact on these people around me through single conversation multiple times over a day.
Yeah.
This I start to find my personal meaning and the purpose. And I see I help these people to grow. And when I make them more happy, engaged and motivated at work, when they go back home, so they will bring this happiness, engagement, and passion to their family life, to their family members as well.
Yeah.
This I start to find, okay, probably my life mission and my aspirations, how I can make a difference to the people at the workplace. Yeah, this is the starting point before I transform myself to be a professional coach.
It seems like you were enjoying yourself, right, in this fast-paced
Yeah.
world of FMCG.
Yes.
What was the reason for that shift?
Yeah, it's a really a good, insightful question, because something did happen 10 years ago. So it's my 10th year's anniversary when I really committed to, like, I want to develop coaching as my career.
Okay.
So I went through a dark time. So I was diagnosed having breast cancer.
Oh,
So it's a sudden stop for my busy and hustle, happy
yes.
corporate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went through the pains. I went through a big surgery, but I still remember the magical moment. It's the third day after I went through the surgery, and I start to leave the bed, have some working to recover myself.
Yeah.
I still recall this moment, and there's some calling in my mind is I want to be a professional coach, and I want to coach for the rest of my life, no matter in this format or the others. I still remember this game-changing moment in my life. It's really, I received a calling from someone. And this is the starting point. I get more serious about coaching. So this is the starting point. I got ICF accredited programs. I immersed myself in the next 1 year because I took 1 year sick leave. So I immersed myself in learning, practicing coaching. And this is the starting point. I transit my career from a corporate marketer to a coach.
I hear you. And then I'm also thinking not everyone gets a chance to get exposed to coaching, So I'm just wondering, how did coaching come to you? I did hear that it is a calling, and yet, to different people, it came from different ways. It's like one person that I interviewed, he says, I had a coach myself. And then another person said that they went through a coaching program in their own company. And then there's so many different reasons, right? But where did coaching appear for you 10 years ago?
Yeah, I think I have my unique personal story as well, like everyone else.
Yes.
So it's in 2005. So it's 20 years ago. This is the first time I heard about coaching from a life coach from the US. So at that time, I was still a uni student, a uni graduate.
Yes.
Oh, I think, yeah, this guy had an amazing career. Like, he basically can choose whatever way he wants to work, and he was transforming people's life on a single day. And then I start to get coaching, life coaching from him about overall exploring myself as a young person. And then the second stage, I start to ask him, can you teach me coaching? I want to be a coach.
That's it.
So this is the starting point. But at that time in Shanghai, no one know about coaching.
It's
Like
true.
it's a brand new thing. So no one knew about coaching. I remember at that time I even got the first interview from a local magazine. Like,
Mhm.
Jackie, tell us more about your job as a life coach. So at the very initial stage, I take coaching, I learned coaching, and I start to practice in coaching as well. Like I offer this service. Can you come to? Like I asked this.
Yes.
So this is the starting point. But it took
Mm.
me 10 years to
Yes.
explore my relationship with coaching. I
That's
think
right.
it took the journey for everyone. Someone is sooner, someone's later, but it took me
Mm.
10 years from I get to know coaching to a real commitment.
Mm. I hear you. Now I get the story, right? How you were already exposed to coaching and then you got into the FMCG world and marketing,
Yeah,
and you started to inculcate coaching into your day-to-day job. It is
yeah.
there that you kind of practice coaching until the point of 10 years later in that big decision of yours, that life-changing moment where you knew that was a calling for you. Well done, Jackie. I love that story that you just shared. I'm curious to kind of ask you, how did you go about building your business? I'm sure you've got your own story on that up and down development as an entrepreneur.
Mm,
How did that begin for you?
yes. It definitely were a lot of struggles, a lot of problem after problem to solve. So that's how I get here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it still took me 5 years. So after I made the commitment 10 years ago, it still took me 5 years
Yeah,
to transit and to be like all in coaching.
I see.
So I think first of all, I see it's a long-term game. So I see in coaching, you need to accumulate enough skills, practice, and the practice of being present
Yeah.
to be really good and experienced in this space. So
Mm,
that's why at the beginning, I tell myself how I can continue working on this journey, but not for 1 year, 2 years. I really want to see the result. I'm taking it's a lifelong journey. I
yeah.
will focus on like what the big difference I can make in this career in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years.
Yeah.
But still, I think there probably will be some common struggles for
Mm,
me, and I see for a lot of my coach peers
yeah.
as well. I
Yeah.
think the first struggle is where's the market? I mean, it's still a new emerging occupation or business type. So
Yes.
when I introduce myself not only in China but also in Australia, I'm a coach. People say, "Are you a sports coach?" No, yo. So where's the market? So I need to find the market.
Yeah.
But what I'm finding in Fortune 500, you will see, Mel, based on your experience, you will see a lot
Yeah.
of like leadership coaching, executive coaching. They're already well established.
Yeah.
Right. Then it leads to the second question. How can I stand out?
Mm,
Because there's either like there's an emerging market, very new, there's a lot of costs to do the conversion education.
yeah.
But there's the other part is a multinational company is already very well established Red Sea there. So
Yes.
how could I stand out? This is the second struggle.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the third struggle at the very beginning is how I can develop the coaching business in a sustainable way. Because
Mm,
most of the practice is project based. How
yes.
I can sustain it as a business and I can thriving as a coach. So I think it lead to several key skill upskilling and the key topics I need to work on. So
Mm,
the first is definitely focusing on sharpening the soul, but the sharpening the soul is not only about the coaching skills, but how it can really provide more values to the
mm,
clients.
mm.
So it might relate it to my marketing background. So I
Yeah.
really embed this customer centricity mindset to my coaching practice. So that's you see the first 5 years accumulate 500 hours. Then
Mm,
it's an aspiration. The next 5 years, it's a 2,000 hours to accelerate delivering the value.
yeah.
And the second, I think the big topic is still also cost me a few years to navigate my differentiation, really finding my niche,
Yeah.
my very niche sweet spot, which I can get the client buy-in, like Jackie, you are the unique solution in this space, but
Yes.
also feel it really can leverage my strengths and my unique skills as well. So I think this is the second topic. It takes a few years to
Mm.
really find my niche, my sweet spot. And the third struggle, like how I can sustain my coaching business, I think it's about all to build the business model.
Yeah.
And I see it's a step-by-step approach. So I starting from collaborating with the big platforms, coaching agencies.
Yes.
Now I'm at this stage about building my own team, building my own
Yeah.
practice, and having more long-term partnership, more in-depth solutions for the direct companies, especially in the tech sector.
Mm.
Probably I will see the next opportunities go how we can go scalable with the imagination. So I think the third topic, how you can really build in the business model, which can help you keep going, but also supporting the lifestyle you want. So this is, I think, the key struggles, but also
Mm.
the key topics I've been working on
Mm.
in the coaching industry.
Mm. So if I just summarize that
Mm.
uniqueness of Jackie, what words would come to represent your special brand?
I would say the first one is creativity.
Okay.
It's originally from my strengths finder. Like, I'm very super creative person. I see my day-to-day value contribution is create possibilities,
Mm.
solutions with the clients. So the first is
Okay.
creativity. The second is energy. This is how I see I bring the energy to my clients
Yeah.
with all these back-to-back meetings. And I see the senior leaders, they are so heavy lifting with a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
I see they join the service, join the program. Part of the reason is because the energy we can bring in the
Mm.
space.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So these, I think, the two big parts: creativity, create new possibilities, new cognition, new innovative solutions, and the energy as a whole.
Mm. Wonderful. And, whilst you were saying that, I was thinking there are so many differentiating factors that a coach can bring, right? Some would be external, which means that they bring in some external tools, psychometric tool, other assessments that they can uniquely say, this is what I do. I have had interviews with other master coaches, and they said that they've created their own systems, their own methodologies as well, that has helped them. For a younger coach out there, Jackie, what would be your advice to them on how to find their uniqueness?
I would say you need to go through a few critical stages.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is how I see the stages really helped me, and I can't skip any step. Yeah, I think the first stage is learn from the best coaches from the
Yeah.
world. It's like it really can touch the boundaries of the whole industry. You know how the best standard globally are
Yeah.
practicing. So
Yeah.
you're learning from them.
Yeah.
So I would encourage every coach, ACCs, PCCs, to learn different coaching methodologies, different frameworks, but also reflect what you are most resonating to.
Yes.
Yeah, and I see I at that stage, I practiced with very different types of clients, very different types of topics, and very different types the context.
Yeah.
So that's how I see I can clarify with myself which niche I'm resonating the most, and I can deliver the most value to the clients. And the clients will see, okay, Jackie, you'll get the feedback from them, right? Jackie, you are doing this niche like it suits you the best. So you are getting the feedback, you are doing the self-reflection. But the initial stage is necessary for you to explore different methodologies, different frameworks. This is, I see the stages from ACC to PCC. Yeah. And from PCC to MCC, I see it's really you are moving towards the professional domain. So this is the stage you start to do deductions. You want to help yourself to more focus on the area.
Yeah.
So you can start from a relatively broad part. For example, for my own example, I start like, I know I want to do a business coach. Yeah, but I'm still wondering, am I serving the leaders from Fortune 500 or SMEs business or
Yeah.
entrepreneurs or solopreneurs? Like
Yeah.
I'm still one. So you can start with a broader niche like business.
Yeah.
Then you start to try different pathways. I think there will be three dimensions. It's actually from marketing model to
Yes.
finally lock in your sweet spot.
Yeah.
So the first one is you have a unique strength.
Yeah.
It's probably your unique talent, your strengths,
Yeah.
and what you really enjoy doing. So this is the first. The second is what you really can find your clients buying. So clients see you are delivering the best value in this space as well.
Yeah.
For example, I choose to finally serve the leaders from multinational companies because I did have more extensive experience in that domain. That's why clients will also find we have more chemistries, we have more emphasis, understanding the context as well.
Yeah.
So this the second is the values your clients see. The third is you are doing better than the other cultures you see. So this is how you see a lot of different cultures and finding what are your uniqueness about yourself.
Yeah.
Then you narrow down step by step from,
Mm.
in my example, from business coach to an executive coach serving Fortune 500 to an
Yeah.
executive coach serving senior tech executives. I
Yeah.
probably can be a bit narrowed down about some of the topic, for example, executive communication for tech
Yes.
leaders.
Yeah.
But to the end of the day, you need to be a specialist in a certain domain to be the
Yes.
best.
Well, I applaud you for that, and I thank you for the step-by-step process. You certainly
Mm.
put all of those marketing years in practice for yourself too.
Exactly. You got this. Yes.
It reminds me of my days in marketing as well. I did tell you that
Yeah.
I'm also from FMCG, and it's funny, right? Because for me, it's the opposite. For me, I chose not to be with FMCG companies. So I've
Yeah.
never had a fast-moving consumer goods client for myself.
Yeah.
But it's so unique that I have worked now with like 8 or 9 banks. I can't remember now. And I have
Mm.
zero experience in banking. Right?
Thinking. That's the magic of coaching, right?
Yeah, it just so happens that I first started collaborating with a banker who became a coach.
Mm.
And that
Mm.
banker gave me access to the FIs, right, financial institutions. And we went from one to another to the next. And then I went on
Mm.
my own as well. And then from there, we just built, right? So
Yeah.
I kind of sense, Jackie, that when you found that niche for you to work with the tech industry, which is huge, right? And then you say senior leaders in the tech to helping them with not just their executive presence, it's an overall executive experience, right? And that brings me to this thing, right? There are people who are curious to say, how did you end up so fortunate working with tech companies? Would love to hear your story in your perhaps first foray into the tech world.
Mm. So I think in general, when I'm looking back now,
Hmm.
uh, I think it's a two-way approach.
Yeah.
On the one hand, I'm always exploring what is my niche, what is the industry I want to focus on, because
Yeah.
uh, in the business sense, I know I want to be a specialist focusing on
Yeah.
more industries. But on the other way, I see the universe, the world is leading me there. They are sending me signals, but I need to receive these signals and the messages.
Yeah.
The initial beginning is I partner with BetUp. I think they are now number one coaching platform based in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So this is the starting point. They recommended some of the giant tech companies like Google, Meta to me. And I start to kick off this leadership program, executive coaching programs in a very, intensive way. Like we have 10 or 20 leaders, the whole program over the year. This
Yeah.
is the very starting point. Then
Yes.
over 2 years, when I reflect, I notice already more than 50% of my client base are from tech. Then I'm starting to, like, as I said, I received the message. I see from the data point, it's 50%
Yes.
of the industry. If I want to narrow down and be more focused, this
Yeah.
is the choice. But in meantime, I checked with my personal feelings. I enjoyed so much working with tech leaders.
Mm.
And I see the tech leaders, and this is at the initial stage of, I think it's just post-pandemic.
Mm.
So you see there's AI, there's ChatGPT, it's really become
Yeah.
something big. And then I see these companies start to invest in more money behind these tech leaders.
Yeah.
The tech leaders, their role and responsibility are changing to how you can make more impact, not only the technical solution, but
That's
also
right.
really change the world. So
Yeah.
this is also, I see the dynamic what happened in a micro trend is they're investing more tech executives.
Yeah.
In the meantime, these tech executives, they become more heavy lifting. So
Mm.
they need to deliver the solutions, they need to work a lot about organizational leadership, how
Yeah.
they can work with cross-functional team really to drive the change, how
Yeah.
they can have these influencing skills and executive communication so they get the vote and investment from the board and from the investors,
Mm.
how they can stay more resilient because they are the one in the frontier, they see all these changes
Yeah.
and they will feel more in society like how the AI will impact us. So there's a lot of resilience, work, this balance, time management, all these issues. They need more external support, coaching, supporting system than ever before.
Mm. Mm.
So this is, I see, it's just all happening at time and it's leaving me there. Then
Yeah.
I'm being consciously to develop my program tailor-made for the tech executives. And I'm starting to talk to more tech companies. I starting to work like, for example, Grab as the big unicorn based in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And then I getting more message. The tech executive telling like, Jackie, I see your uniqueness in cross-cultural communication, global leadership, because the tech companies now all become a global company. They can
That's
go
true.
scale in a remote way so fast. And they say, okay, so then they help me to find. So I see the clients are really sending me all the feedback and messages, but I need to be more intentional to get this feedback. I
Yeah.
see it's helping them to work on the global leadership. So I think it's a verification process like tech. It is the space I really want to further work on.
Mm.
It's also a checking about the micro trend because I see the tech will transform or how we live, how we work in the next 10, 20, or even longer term.
Wow. Thank you. There is a lot of messaging that you're sending out there as well, Jackie, because messagings and communication is not just one way, it's two ways. And I'm just very happy for you and impressed as well on how you were listening in, not just to your clients,
Mm,
but to the feedback that they were sending you and also the environmental factors that was happening. And you saw that, if I can say, the writing on the wall. But in
mm,
fact, the writing on the wall was already there, and you had to just lean in deeper to listen in onto what they are crying out for. And listening is such a big part of what we do, isn't it? If
it
we
is.
actually choose to be present and listen, right, in the area of mastery, especially,
Yeah.
that whole presence and that being there in the moment with our clients. So I'd like to just segue into that right now. That difference between that level of listening and presencing in perhaps the ACC, PCC level, and then now at this level, MCC,
Mm.
that presencing and listening is obviously at a different level. In your experience, what do you think makes the difference for that level of mastery?
Yeah. I think the main difference really can
Mm,
make is about time. You really spending the time and effort
mm,
and being present, being in the moment will come naturally. I really appreciate in all these, this training program, coaching training program, they
mm,
mention about presence, mindfulness at the very beginning. But
mm.
it's so hard for ACC. Like when I was ACC, it's so hard because you have multiple
Yeah,
agendas to take care of.
it's true.
You need to train the skills, you need to build the hard muscle, the hard skills first.
That's so
But
true.
I think it's always telling what is the ultimate game of
Mm,
coaching. The ultimate game is you are really being, in the present, holding the space for a client, and you create something magical, imaginary, and amazing. So I think this is being present is the ultimate game for coaching and for our lives as well. I see. So I see from ACC, I see the achievement is mainly you deliver a structured conversation. You demonstrate these key markers, key behaviors.
Yeah.
And I think the main focus is how you can remove the judgmental comments, remove that. So make the skills right. Yeah. And the PCC, I think it's a little bit, you can be a little bit more open, more present, because now you have the muscle memory.
That's
Then
true.
you have more energy, like we can be more in present and that way. So I see the PCC is how you can go deeper to explore the possibilities, how you can hold in a bigger space. So that I see the PCC marker, it's more about how about we bring more openness, we bring more curiosity, we bring more possibility, while we already be capable of, structuring the conversation. This I see the PCC is you go bolder a little bit, you moving forward a bit to go deeper and broader.
Yeah.
And the training for MCC, which I took, I think the whole year, I see the MCC, it's really about, you already have all the muscle memories ready. Now it's a practice focusing on being the present, being more fluid, being more flexible, and you can really dance in the moment with your clients. But meanwhile, you have a helicopter perspective to see the whole system, the whole situation, including your clients, yourself, your relationship. So I see the whole training practice for MCC. It's not about the certification. It's about the practice about you can really be in present, being full of yourself to being accompanied with your clients. This is how I see it really makes sense for me to have these three stages, ACC, PCC, and MCC.
What you say is so true, right? It's that muscle memory that is hard to build at the start because it's new, right? We've been conditioned with a different way, maybe, right? If we come from Asia, for example, we'll realize that we've been so led by solutions, by structure, by our respect for our elders, our seniors out there. And when we're in that kind of system, it doesn't give us a lot of space for our own thoughts and our own ways, right? So I noticed that with the younger coaches coming in, and they have to seemingly master all these new things that are challenging their own way of thinking and being. It's not natural, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I see, as you said, we as human beings, we all want to have control. Right. So we want to prove I'm a good coach.
It's true.
Yeah. So all these key agendas is through hours and thousands of our practice, we can get rid of all this agenda. So it's a time where we really can focus in this moment.
It's one of those things, right? It's a little ironic, right? You learn all that muscle memory, it's there. Now let's let it go and be present.
Exactly.
And let other things come, right? Being curious, staying in the moment, as we was talking about, dancing in the flow of the coaching, the rhythm. I'm just thinking, right, in that fast-paced world of the tech industry that you're in a lot, how do these executives take that, right? Because they're on one side very driven, very in an environment that is so much changes are happening. Yet when they meet a person like you, Jackie, who has this presence and allowing them to create or co-create this beautiful space with them, what are your thoughts with that?
Yeah, I really love this question. Yeah, it's really how we can really holding our clients accountable and really delivering the out. I think it's starting from how we can co-create a really beneficial, thriving relationship and coaching contract.
Yeah.
So I definitely will work on with my client about the specific time of the day for coaching, not in between of the day to day, back to
Yeah.
back meetings, all this.
Yeah.
It could be even weekend. It could be the first, early morning to start the week, etc.
Yeah.
And we co-create this agreement. Like for this space, we
Mm.
work on these longer term strategical topics.
Yeah.
Because when we're talking about developing the team, unleash potential, we're talking about how we can make this strategical decision,
Mm.
making disruptive products. They are not short term, they're not day to day. They are
Yeah.
long-term strategical topics. So
Yeah.
we make sure we really bring this big, important, expensive topic in the container to that. So this is I think, the starting point to setting the foundation for successful coaching. It's all building
Mm.
the agreement with
That's
them.
true. Yeah.
And then the second is during the journey, they start to be aware. I need to pause. I need to slow down if we want to think independently, deeply.
Yeah.
If we want really do some creative work, really creating the future rather than just extending what happened in the past. So we need to be mindful. We need to relax. We need
Mm.
to stay loose. That's how we can connect the dots, that we can creating a new future or making something, really disrupt the reality now. This is usually the paradigm shift my client would happen in our coaching
Mm.
program.
Mm.
As you just said, like we need to build the muscle, we need to deliver the result. But on the other hand, we need to take care of the long term. We need to bring the wisdom in how we can navigate the future and leading the team forward. And usually the long-term strategical part will be the core essence of the coaching program.
Yeah.
So they will leverage, they will see it's a space of
Yeah.
creativity and energy.
Mm.
They can really anchor some big topics for themselves, for a team, for the organization. So this is, I think, a big paradigm shift to not only benefit them in the coaching program in the long term. And by the way, I also share a lot of learning materials about how brains work, about this, how mindfulness would help. And I believe this could be the game changer for their life, even after the coaching program. But I will tailor-made, I will co-create with them what be the best way for them to find their tranquility, find their peace of
Mm.
mind, even with all
Mm.
the hustle and bustle. And everyone have their own way to go into that space. So I will co-create that with them as well.
Mm.
But you're right. It's difficult because they are all driven by KPI. I've been there. We've been there, right? So
Yes.
they've been put into a lot of agendas, urgent items. So that's why I maintain the relationship, holding them accountable, really making sure the investment of their time in our coaching program is worthwhile. To
Yes.
do regular check-ins, it's all necessary.
Mm. I love that. It's so true, right? We can go in helping them with the day-to-day transactions, and that would seem like a good place to be for them, and they would get immediate results or benefits from it. And
Yeah,
then we realize as coaches that there is that greater need inside each one of us to be in that space where we don't choose to be always. We don't choose to be in mindful state. We choose to be
yeah,
sometimes in busy state. And
yes,
such a beautiful creation that you are co-creating with your executives, because they secretly know they need that too.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they know that now I can talk about that future, that place where I'm not even there yet. And it's safe for me to explore these boundaries that I haven't shared maybe with a lot of people in the office.
Mm,
I can share that with my coach. And then they suddenly realize that this is that amazing space where it's going to help them
mm,
even get to a better place faster, because they are spending time with the more needed thing, which is to come back to self and realize
yeah,
that they have to honor themselves. As you said, they have to find that fulfilling, happy place where
yeah,
they can be themselves fully.
yeah. I'm really resonating to that, Mel. Because we also want the client to be focused given they already have the long to-do list agendas.
Yes, it's a
And the real resonating, like if there's only one big goal we are going to achieve is being authentic, help them to being authentic, being themselves. So they will bring the energy up. This is how they become more energetic, how they can influence, lead in a better way. It's finding themselves, being authentic. Totally agree.
Yeah. And then, Jackie, I'm also realizing that coaching is still new after 20 years, and I realized that I'm still having to educate organizations who have not experienced the power of coaching on what coaching brings. It's a whole theme of human potential that we bring with all of that. And I'm just wondering, right, how would you position coaching to organizations who have perhaps not yet been truly exposed to that? They're starting from a point of, prove to me how good coaching is. What would you
Yes.
do?
Yeah. Good question, Mel, again. I never introduced coaching, like explain the definition of coaching and how coaching
Okay.
can help you
Okay.
to organization.
Yeah.
They have not experienced coaching yet.
So good.
So what
Yeah.
I will do is starting with their problems, their pain points.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So tell me about your challenges, your problems, your pain points.
Yes.
So I would see the typical topics that you will come back. First, it's definitely about growth, about performance, definitely about the business growth. It's the ultimate topic for every business organization.
Yeah.
So they will say growth, right? And the growth, it's innovation, it's about profitability, etc., about management.
Yeah.
And they were talking about performance, how I can improve the team performance, how I can improve this key talent performance. They will talk about that.
Yeah.
They will talk about the key pain points is about collaboration. It's
Yeah.
really pain the ass to collaborate in managing very difficult people, different situations.
Yeah.
We start with their pain points, their problems.
That's good.
Yes, and dig deeper, like why they see that. When you dig deeper, you listen them, and you can see what are their struggles, what are their problems. And I, as a coach, I will assess and analyze if coaching will be a solution to them. So I do that internally, not talking with them, like what is coaching, how we can help you.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, definitely. You see, now we do performance coaching, we do leadership coaching, we do communication. We can really make a huge difference for this space, growth, performance, communication, collaboration with coaching as a powerful tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I'll say, why should we give a try? Should we try it? Should we start with a coaching program? Should we start with a team workshop? And let them experience the difference. So usually we start with a small program, let them experience. I think experience can speak much louder than my explanation. Let's try that. Yeah, so this is how I really can get more buy-in from an organization, starting with their problem, starting with their keywords, and give them try. Let's try that out.
Yeah. It's all about the experience. It's all about getting them to share what's their struggles, what are the perhaps even their dreams, right? What they are really wanting out of it. And often, depending which level we speak to, it will come back with quite a generic version of the challenges, right? And it is that skill to be able to go a little deeper, helping them see that it stems from a couple of common areas. And one of it is, of course, the relationships that we all have in the workplace, right? And that's always tied to how people treat each other in the workplace. And that ties to all the things, right? The communication, the collaboration, or the lack of. I like what you said, right? Give them a taster to test how this works in their own culture. And I think the other thing, Jackie, is to allow them to be saying, I want this. I see some changes. What else can you do, right? So it's not to inundate them with all of the coaching jargon, all of our tools right in the front. And then they'll be like, oh my gosh, there's a lot to do.
Yes. I see the whole process of communicating to the organization.
Yeah.
It's a coaching philosophy. It's not
Yes.
about you, it's not about coaching, it's about the clients, it's about their problems. So I
Absolutely.
think the magic already happened at the first place when you start to listen to them. They can
Yes.
feel the magic hiddenly. Like, oh, I've been heard. Okay, Jackie, oh, understand me. Like
Yes.
this magic happens. So I see it's how you can pitch
Mm,
and involve a client in a coaching way, in a coaching philosophy. It's
yeah.
really make it powerful.
So good, Jackie. I'm just wondering, right, how does that future ahead of yours looking like? I know you did mention a little bit like how you are right now building a team, maybe coming out with more solutions as well. So what would be the next 5 years, looking at the trends of coaching, of course, and then being true to what you're called to do in this space?
Yeah, I think the keyword will be focus. So I see because I already nailed the niche, the target
Yes.
client, target industry, and it takes the long term, it takes time to
Mm,
really build the strong muscle uh, and the uniqueness of my service. So in the next 5 years, I think it's how we can always upgrading our solution services to serve the tech executives the best.
mm,
Um, for myself as a business leader and entrepreneur, I think the main question is about how I can make a bigger impact. That's why I start to do more writing, to do more speaking. This is how I see I can make more impact, given the social media, all this technology that would happen. So working on upgrading the best solution for my clients and focusing on speaking and doing all this content so we
mm,
can make more impact as a coach to the public. This is the second thing I will
yeah.
do. The third is I see how I coach in 5 years will be very different from I coach today because of the new technology. This is how I see. So this year I will definitely commit more time to integrate AI tools, different tools in my coaching practice, in my own how I run my own company, my own business to improve the efficiency, but also finding more integrated solutions. This is I'm for sure. I think the AI tool will make our impact and our values 10 times more than we can
Mm,
deliver. This is what I believe. Uh,
mm,
just for a simple example, because the AI tool, I can have more like AI tools for automation, AI avatars to provide more, for example, the micro coaching sessions between the sessions.
that's true.
Probably what the value we can deliver to 30 clients per year, we can deliver to 300 people per year. I think it's a lot of imagination in that
Yeah,
space.
yeah, yeah.
So this is the growing space for me, definitely.
Mm. I totally agree with you with integrating all this additional help that can make our business more efficient and help us focus as well, as you use the word, focus on the key areas that we want to focus on. I was speaking to another coach the other day, and she talked about the uniqueness of her branding and what she does. And she collaborates with AI, and her focus is using symbols, right, in coaching. And she's definitely one
Mm.
of the very few coaches in the world that uses that. And she's got her own system. So it's about, again, like what we've talked about, Jackie, is bringing that uniqueness of ourselves, understanding the niches that we can value add in, and then of course sharpening our sword. But then there's this whole focus on that special space that we are called to go into. And of course, right now is how we can also integrate AI along the way.
Yeah.
Fantastic story we're creating today here, Jackie.
Thank you, Mer, for all the great and powerful questions. I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, my last question would often be, for coaches coming into our industry, they're fresh, they're new, and yet so needed because, in my books,
Mm,
I think we still need a lot more coaches in the world to reach
definitely.
those unreached places. What would be your thoughts for the new ones coming in right now?
I would say everyone can become an MCC as long as you don't quit.
Beautiful.
Because becoming MCC is becoming yourself. It's coming home.
Wow.
This
so
is
good.
the sentence I like to send to everyone just start coaching or not yet, maybe.
Believe in yourself and come home to yourself. Wow, that's so powerful. Thank
Yeah.
you, Jackie.
I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Mel, for you and for your broadcast program, because I see you're definitely making an impact, sending the
you.
values to the whole world. Thank you for
Oh,
invitation.
my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you, Jackie. This has been the 100 Master Coaches today with Jackie and myself, Mel. Till the next time, stay in your lane, continue to pursue your calling, and enjoy this journey ahead as you step into becoming the best you. Till then, take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You have been watching the 100 Master Coaches series with your host, Coach Mel, MCC. Brought to you by Catalyst Coach. www.catalystcoach.live. We will be right back with our next Master Coach on the 100 Master Coaches series.